Hey everyone, and welcome to this edition of Daily Meditation with myself, Coach Rob Hamley. Today's edition is episode 24, Friday Focus. Today's focus, before we head into the weekend, is the impact that we have on others. So stay tuned for that. But first, if you could, please give this channel and video a like. Maybe even share it out to someone in your life who you think would enjoy listening to good old Coach Hamley and our daily meditation talks. I can't believe that there's already been 24 episodes, each one a little unique in the message that's being spread. And as you've learned, meditation is not just about sitting quietly in the absence of thought. Meditation is actually getting in tune with our thoughts and getting introspective and understanding how we think. So, we're happy to have you here with us, wherever you're at, whenever you're listening. It's a blessing. And let today's meditation begin. So today's meditation on this Friday focus is the impact we have on others. And more so now than ever, I want my young sluggers to understand that you truly do have an impact on those around you, whether you believe it or not. As a kid, you have an impact on the world around you. I know that there have been players that I have coached from, any age range. It could be from 6 to 23, have had an impact on me, and it's a lot of times on what they do, not what they say, but what they do. It could be a 6-year-old who just doesn't know the word quit, that just keeps on grinding and is coachable and has a positive attitude. That has an impact on me. After working with a 6-year-old like that, maybe even just after a 30-minute lesson, I walk away feeling better about myself because of that positive energy that 6-year-old was spreading. So today I want you to focus on the impact that you can have on others. And I want to challenge you, heading into the weekend, you have 48 hours or more to have a positive impact on someone. So I challenge you, try to impact someone in a positive way in the next 48 hours. And now I want to give you a little story on why I want to talk about impacting others today. Yesterday, so on Thursday, we spent most of the day inside. It was raining, and when I say we, I mean like me and my family. Kind of one of those lazy, dreary days. And we're sitting down having our family dinner, and my son is talking about the weekend, and he knows that we're going to go up and see his grandma and grandpa at their house, his Mimi and Papa, and they live on a lake. And so he's really looking forward to fishing. And I'll give you some context too. He's about 3.5 years old, so he's really just fallen in love with fishing. And maybe even more so than the act of fishing, he loves looking at the lures that I have in my tackle box and finding worms to go fishing. So stay with me. I know you're thinking, Coach Hamley, I know you're a little crazy, but how are you going to relate fishing and worms to impacting others? Stay with me. It's going to get better. So normally what we do is, we have a creek by us, and we go fishing in it, and there's also, a pond not too far away that we fish, and we go and just find some leaf worms in our backyard, turning over the rocks, going into the little wooded area and looking under the leaves, maybe even digging in the ground a little bit, and we come up with some decent size leaf worms, and normally about an inch and a half in length, and he's just, thrilled as can be, thrilled as a pig in mud. And so we do our thing, and we go fishing with those. Well, because we got all this rain, my brain started thinking back to when I was a little boy, and my dad would take us outside after a storm into the yard, and we would go night crawler hunting. Now, for those of you who aren't real privy on these different worm species, and I don't even know if I'm saying them right, I've always just referred to the worms that I find underneath the leaves as leaf worms, and the bigger ones as night crawlers. But anyway, I thought, man, my son will get a thrill out of catching night crawlers because these things, they get over like 5 to 6 inches in length. And so I'm talking to him at dinner saying, hey, man, you want to go out there and catch some night crawlers after dinner? And he was all about it. And so we're out there, and, the first couple worms that I see, if you don't know anything about night crawlers, after a rain, they come to the surface. And they kind of, you have to really look, but they are on the top of the soil, kind of like hanging out of the grass a little bit. And these things are hard to catch. One, they're slimy. Two, the grass is wet. Three, they sense you coming through the vibrations in the ground. So it takes a little bit of finesse, especially once you have one in your hands. They try to dart back in their hole, and if you're not gentle enough, you'll break them in half. And I'm sure it was quite a sight for my neighbors seeing this grown man and his little 3.5-year-old boy following behind him with a Cool Whip container full of dirt. And, we're walking around, and we strike out a number of times. And when I say we, I mean me. And, it all started kind of coming back to me after the probably 10th miss on how you got to really catch these things. And it takes some finesse. It takes effort. And, when you grab one, you got to be gentle. Firm but gentle. And if you grab them between your index finger and your thumb, more than likely they're going to slip away or you're going to break it in half. So what you really want to do is get it between your middle finger and your ring finger. So I know a lot of you are looking at your hands right now saying, middle finger, ring finger. Okay, coach, how does this relate to impacting others? I know, stay with me. So, as I'm doing this, I'm talking my boy through it as well. And we're talking, and I'm talking to him about, we got to be quiet, we got to move slowly, we got to keep our eyes forward, we got to be gentle. And, we start having a lot of success. And I'll post a picture tomorrow, or I'll post a picture for you on Facebook with this tub of worms that we got. We probably caught over 4 dozen of these things. So we got a lot of fishing in our future. However, I want to go back to the impact it had on him. It wasn't just about catching the worms that meant a lot to him. It was the time that we were together and the lessons that he was learning and I was learning. And I don't have this fatherhood thing figured out. I'm learning as I go. However, I do know that what I say and do has a profound impact on him. He sees the world based on what I say and what I do. And am I perfect at that? Absolutely not. I mess up all the time. However, in this instance, when we're catching these worms, we spent probably a good hour 15 minutes out in the yard just talking, walking, and, to see the joy in his face every time I grabbed a worm and was able to put in the Tupperware container, the Cool Whip container, just, it'll melt your heart. And, what then I started to think about before I was talking with you guys is how I was not just impacting him by teaching him how to catch worms. We were learning things on patience, finesse, how to be firm but gentle, counting. He was learning how to count because, once we had our haul, we went back and sat on the porch and we were counting how many of these night crawlers that we had caught. So from this little act of just, walking around for an hour catching earthworms, he was learning more than just that. And then, we had our hands dirty and slimy, and, he learned another lesson. It's okay to get down in the dirt. It's okay to get dirty. You know why? Dirt washes off. And I think those were my exact words to him. I said, hey, man, we can go outside. We'll go inside. We'll wash our hands, and that dirt will come off, and you'll be good to go. So today, and as you move into the weekend, I want you to think about the little things that you can do to impact those around you. And it doesn't have to be a big lightning rod moment. It can just be a little moment. You don't have to be a father to have these impacts on others. You can have an impact on the world around you as a son, as a brother, as a teammate, as a classmate, as a pupil. For those of you who are thinking pupil like eyeball, pupil like student. So I want you to think about that for the next 48 hours. What can you do to impact those around you? And here's the thing. You're probably not going to get gratification right away. However, where you will have gratification is knowing that you are making a difference. You are doing your part to make the world around you better. Don't talk about it. Do it. Because I tell you what, when I was watching my son, it wasn't what I was saying. If I was doing a lot of talking, and those of you who know Coach Hamlin, I do a lot of talking. However, he was learning from what I was saying, but he was learning more from what I was doing. He was watching my actions. If I missed a worm, I broke one in half. He was watching to see how I reacted. Isn't that like baseball? In a world where I feel like a lot of people want to react in a way to get attention or to show everyone that we're frustrated because, if I show I'm frustrated, that means I'm really engaged and I'm really trying. When in all reality, the man who can sit there and harness his emotions and control his emotions is the man that has strength. So I want you to try that, because that can impact those around you when things are going wrong. And I hope a lot of you are playing summer ball in the next couple weeks. How are you going to have an impact on the field? When stuff around you is going wrong, when the stuff is hitting the fan, are you going to be one of the masses that is sitting there complaining, whining, barking about calls from the umpire, or how coach sent Timmy around third when he should have held him up? Or are you going to be the one that's going to be the difference maker? To not just join in with the masses, who shows leadership and doesn't just talk about leadership, and you don't just post about leadership on social media. You do it. You show it. That's how you impact others. And that's where leaders come from, by showing. See, I told you I'd relate catching night crawlers to impacting others. You didn't think it could be done, but it was. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Give this channel a like, the video a like, share it out. I had a lot of fun talking to you about it. I can't wait to be with you again next week, Monday. Carry this with you through the weekend. And until we meet again, keep slugging.